Hi everybody, today we're working on a 2003 Mini Cooper. This car needs a new window regulator. And I'll put a link in the video description for the parts and the tools I'll be using for this job as always. This is a pretty common problem on the first generation Minis, usually the driver's side because that side is used more often. So either the window motor has stopped working or the window regulator cable system has broken. So this is not that hard to do if you know what you're doing. Basically, we just need to remove the door card and the window, and then there's a few bolts holding the regulator into the door shell. So here's the part we're going to be replacing, and I'll put a link in the video description. First thing we're going to do is pull off this surround for the door latch. We need to remove the reflector because there's a screw hiding underneath it. And then there's a total of 4 screws holding the door in, and I believe these are Torx T30. On the 2005 and newer cars, this car is hidden by the armrest, which actually curves around it. The trick there is there's a little clip right here, and you have to push a flat blade screwdriver in, put some tape or something here to protect it. Push in this direction to depress the clip, and then you can pull the armrest forward. Don't try to pry it off without pushing it forward first. You will break it. So we'll remove all these screws. This one's missing, it looks like. We'll get them out of there with a magnet tool. The 2 front on here are longer and the 2 back are shorter. Once we've done that, we can use a body panel tool or a big flat blade screwdriver and just pop the door card off. It's held on by a bunch of body clips. And then come to the top, and we're going to pull out towards the back of the car. And it comes right off. If you have a 2005 and later car, there's going to be a wiring to a light on the bottom for the puddle light. So now we can see the inside of the door card. In this case, we're going to have to push up the window because I need to get to the fasteners that are holding the window in place. The cables are broken, so that's easy to do. If the cables aren't broken, we may have to, sometimes you can pound on the door here and get the motor to work just intermittently enough to get the window up. And the idea is you want to put it up about this high or so, because on the back here there's like a cam wheel that squeezes the window, and that's how it holds it in. So I'm going to pull the window up as high as I can make it go. Looks like it stops right about there. We're going to need to remove this trim, and it just comes off by pushing up. We want to make a note of how far back it is in relation to, let's say, this little lip here, because I can slide it back and forward just a little bit. And BMW calls for a special service tool to do this. I'm just going to use a screwdriver. I'm going to engage one of the teeth and hammer it in the counterclockwise direction from the direction of the front of the fastener. And this will cause it to rotate. So here's the fastener I was talking about. So you need to have enough room where the fastener itself is not like directly in front of one of these crash bars, because otherwise you won't be able to get it out. And we'll do the same on the opposite side. And it goes without saying, be careful not to hit the window with the hammer. All right, got it. Once you've done that, you can just lift the window up and out, being careful not to scratch any tint on the glass, for example. So here's the window. I'll put this someplace safe where it won't fall and break. Oh, and we can see right here, here's the cable all just loose here, so we know it's broken somewhere. All right, so that's by far the hardest part. Next, we need a Phillips head to remove the door latch and tweeter, because there's a screw behind there we need to get to. We're just going to fold this out of the way. And behind here there's a 10 mil screw, and there's another one on the back side. Usually it's covered by a dust cap. So there's 2 10 mil, one on the front, one on the back, and there's 2 underneath. And then if we look inside here, I don't know if you can see, but there's going to be a couple clips. I'll show you in the new part. There's 2 clips here, and there's 1 here. You're going to need to disconnect those from the inside of the door shell. And once we've done that, we're gonna kind of fold the door regulator in on itself and then pull it out. So let's take off these 10 mil bolts. On the bottom bolts, keep a note of where they are, because on the inside that lets you slide the bottom of the window regulator back or forward to get the correct angle of the window to the body of the car when it's in the up position. So we'll remove these bottom bolts, and they have a little washer on the bottom. Now we can reach in and just kind of grab it and then fold it inward. On the front side, we need to remove 3 bolts, 3 screws I mean, which hold the window motor in place. I'm also going to need to remove the door speaker. Looks like this one's aftermarket and badly installed. Because behind here is the wiring harness for the motor itself. So there's 2 clips on each side. You just kind of pinch and then pull down. And once you've done that, you can fold the other side. Yeah, there you go. There's your brake right there. And then finally, there's a couple of clips up on top here. You can't see the back side of the clip. It's behind where it's a dual shell here. So you just have to kind of get in there and break the clip. I don't know if you can see, but I've actually saved the clip and just pushed the wires out of it. It's not possible to remove this clip from the door shell without breaking it, so this way we've saved it. So now we can, oops, there's another clip on the back here. This one's easy. You just kind of pinch the legs in and it falls in. And now the whole old regulator comes out. So as we can see, it's broken right here at the spring mechanism, which keeps tension on the system. So the entire regulator needs replacing. All right, so we'll just fold it back up, shove it in the hole. And then once it's in there, we can unfold it. On the top part, there's going to be, you should be able to see the hole for the screw right there. And on the bottom, you need to pick it up and then put it in this little plastic nylon wrap. Just like that. And then I'll slide this clip up and clip it where the old one was. We'll do the same for the other side. And if you've done it right, the hole should roughly align with where the screw used to be. You can see the shadow of the dust. Before I forget, I'm gonna put the wiring into the clips, because if you don't, it's gonna rub on the window. One of the wire goes up inside, the other one goes into a little retainer portion. Put the bottom screws back in. There we go. All right, next we'll reconnect the motor. And I'll turn on car power and see if the wiring is correct or not. Yeah, up is up, down is down, so that's good. I'm going to raise it up above the crash bar, right about there. And before putting the window back in, I'm going to put the speaker and all this stuff back in. All right, now we can put the window in. Oh wait, yeah, it might be a good idea to have the motor attached to the door. right, now we'll grab the window, put the window back in, and be careful not to scratch the tint if there is any. And it should drop just inside these little nylon catches, just like that. So yeah, it looks like it's back about the same amount as it was when we took it out. And we'll put these cogs back in. You might have to push first a little bit to get it to engage. There could be like a little nylon clip you have to clear first. And once you got it tight and where you want the window to be, you can use the screwdriver to tighten the cogs. Not too much, it just needs to be snug. Then I'll raise the window the whole way and make sure it closes correctly. Yeah, it looks like I could move the whole thing just a little bit more forward. So yeah, I need to move the window forward by about 1 centimeter. It needs to kind of tuck in on the front here or you're going to get wind noise. I'm going to loosen this again and move the window forward just a little bit. You want to make sure to do all these adjustments before putting the door card back on. I'll move it forward about that much and we'll try again. There, that looks a lot better. I think we'll live with that. Now we can put this trim back on, and I like to do this with the door closed so you can see how far forward or back it should be. Then we can put the door card back on. You want to put the door lock through the little hole on top, and be sure to reconnect the puddle light if you have one. Just pound it in place. Put all the screws back in. Put this back over the cover and put the reflector back on. That's all there is to it. That's how to replace the window regulator on a first generation Mini Cooper. Let me know if you have any questions. As always, there's links in the video description for parts and tools for this job. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye. So this is the window regulator. It's got a motor attached to a gear, and around the gear a cable is wrapped, very similar to the cables used for bicycle brakes. It's a single continuous loop cable attached to each of these plastic circle thingies. And when the motor rotates one direction, they go up, and when it rotates the other direction, they go down.